In this video, we're going to take a look at an introduction to inequalities. So inequalities describe the relationship between two expressions which are not equal in value. Now, there's also a number of different symbols here that you need to be familiar with for inequalities. Let's begin by denoting those symbols. So for my first symbol here, we have less than. That's for less than. My next one then we have greater than. This is for greater than. My next one here then we have less than or equal to. Like you can see, it's pretty similar to less than. We have this line underneath now. For less than or equal to. And then finally we have greater than or equal to. Okay, and again, looks pretty similar to greater than. We have this line underneath again here. This is for greater than or equal to. So that's for greater than or equal to. So these are the four symbols here that you need to be familiar with for inequalities. The way that we read inequalities here, so let me just write down an inequality to begin with. The way that we'd read this inequality here would be x is greater than or equal to 4. Okay, we've got x here, that's a variable that we're working with. My inequality here is for greater than or equal to, and then this number here. So what I'm saying then is x is greater than or equal to 4. Okay, another example then. In this case, x again, that's the variable that we're working with, is less than minus 1. Okay. Obviously, we can use different variables as well. So, for example, I might have, say, y. So, y is less than or equal to 5. Okay. So, y is less than or equal, like you can see here, y is less than or equal to 5. Okay. Now, finally, you also need to be able to present inequalities on a number line. So, let me just quickly draw a number line here at the bottom. Okay. So, won't be perfect. Well, let's just say that's my number line here. So I just put some numbers down here for our number line. Let's say we've got minus 2, minus 1, that's 0, 1, 2, and 3 here. Okay, so just quite a small, part of the number line here. What I want to do now is show you how to present inequalities on a number line. So let's say I've got an inequality here. So let's say we're working with x is greater than minus 1. Okay. So how do I present this inequality here of x being greater than minus 1 on this number line? Well, the first thing I'm going to do here is draw a circle at minus 1. Okay. Draw a circle here at minus 1. And because we're doing this for the variable x here, let's just denote that this is for the variable x. Okay. So that's my circle. Okay. Now we need to show the direction that our inequality is going here. So if x is greater than minus 1, we want numbers greater than minus 1. So we want 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Okay. So in that case then, my inequality is going in this direction. We want values in this direction. I draw an arrow like that to signal that we want values greater than minus 1 here. Now in this case, because my inequality is strict, so it's not going to be equal to minus 1. In this case then, we don't shade the circle. Okay, when you're presenting inequalities, we either have to shade the circle or we just leave it blank like this. Okay, so if I try this up here, then we have open circles when the inequality is strict. So open circles are for less than and greater than, and then we shade the circles or shaded circles. Shaded circles when we then include the solution. So for example, less than or equal to and greater than or equal to, like that. Okay, so for x being greater than minus 1 here, then like we said, we wouldn't shade that. However, let's say we've got another inequality here. Let's say I've got so let me just erase that one here. Let's just erase that one, and let's say we're now working with Again, x here, so x is now greater than. But let's do less than, just so we can show a different way here for the inequality. So x is less than or equal to 2. Okay, so again, what I'm going to do here now is draw a circle at 2. I draw my circle here at 2. And we're looking at x being less than or equal to 2. We now need to show the direction that our inequality is going here. So if we want values of x being less than or equal to 2, we want numbers such as 2, 1, 0, -1, -2, -3, and so on. So in that case then, we're going to the left here. So I'm going to draw my arrow going to the left to show this as my direction. Obviously do use a ruler here. I'm doing this freehand, but I would recommend using a ruler. So now we need to decide whether we shade this circle here. Well, because my inequality now includes this 2 here, as we can see here, we now need to shade the circle. So shade this in here, and there we have it. So that represents the inequality here of x being less than or equal to 2. Okay? And there we have it. So that's everything we need there for our introduction to inequalities. That brings us to the end of this video. So in the next video, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at solving inequalities.